Bringing yourself into a seated position with the eyes closed and the hands on top of the thighs. Take a breath in, roll the shoulders up towards the ears and then relax them back down towards the hips. Open the eyes. On your breath in, raise those hands up towards the ceiling, palms come together. On your out breath, bring your left hand to the floor, reach over with that right hand to the left side of the room. In breath, bring both hands back up towards the ceiling. On your out breath, bring your right hand down, reach over with the left hand to the right side of the room. Breath in, bring both hands back towards the ceiling. On your out breath, take it to the opposite side, so your left hand comes down, your right hand reaches over. Breath in, come back to the centre. Breath out, reach over to the opposite side. Come back to the centre, both hands lifted, and then bringing your right hand to your left knee, rotate to the left. Breath in, comes back to centre. Breath out, bring your left hand to your right knee and rotate to the right. Come back to centre, both hands lift. Then bring the hands back to the thighs. Widen the legs out as wide as you can to both sides of the mat. Bring the toes back towards the shins, push those knees into the mat, bring the hands to the front of the body. On your out breath, just start to walk those hands further, starting to tilt from the pelvis, keeping the chest facing forward, bringing the hands as far as you can to reach in front of you. Take a long breath in, lift a little through the torso, and then on your out breath, draw the belly back and maybe fold a little closer towards that floor. Your next breath in, start to lift up through the chest, walk the hands over to that right foot, shoulders tracking towards that right foot, left hip pushing into the mat, breathe in, length, breathe out, and fold over that right leg. Use that breath. In breath creates the space, the length, the elongation. Out breath creates the depth as you fold over that right thigh. Keep pushing that left sit bone into the mat as much as you can to feel grounded through the seat. Next breath in, come back through centre. Walk your hands over to your left foot. Elongate, inhale. On your out breath, fold over that left leg. Remember, you may not come as deep as what I'm going here. Just feel that stretch through the back of the legs, through those hamstrings, through those calves, those Achilles. Thinking about always bringing those toes back towards the shins. Next breath in, come back to centre and just take a couple of breaths in that centre space. Just allowing that chest to fold towards the floor. It may be that you're still high up here, but just try not to roll through the back. Keep pushing the chest forward, lengthening through the spine. Then start to walk those hands back in towards you. Bring a bend into your left knee and that left heel of the foot into the groin. Place your right hand onto the top of that right shin. Reach up with the left hand and then start to fold over that right leg, keeping the chest pointing forward, taking some lateral flexion through the waist. Breathing easy here, in through the nose, out through the nose if you can. That left sit bone pushing down, that left knee dropping towards the floor as close as it can reach. And then bring those shoulders back over those hips. Straighten back out with that left leg. Bring a bend into your right knee, bringing the right heel into the groin. Left hand comes onto the top of the left shin. We reach up with the right hand and start to fold towards that left leg. Feeling that stretch down that right side waist, keeping the chest pointing forward. Using that left arm just to support the body as we fold over that left side. Keep breathing deeply as we hold this space. Come back to centre. Bring both legs out long to the front of the mat. So I'm just going to turn so I'm fully on my mat here. Remove the flesh from under the sit bones. Bring the hands behind you, either point the fingertips in or slightly out if you wish to take a little pressure off those wrists. Take a bend into both knees, feet hip width apart, squeeze the shoulder blades together. As you push into the feet and the hands, you raise the hips up towards the ceiling, pushing them as high as you can, taking them into a reverse tabletop. The gaze is up towards the ceiling. We push strong into the heel of the hands, the fingers, all that palm of the hand pushing strong into the mat. As we squeeze the bum to lift those hips maybe a little higher. On your out breath, bring those bums back to the floor. If the fingertips are pointing in, turn them out. Bring the feet and knees together. Let the knees drop over to your right side as you keep the chest pointing forward. Take a little rotation through the waist. Bring the knees back into the centre with the heels of the feet staying together, the knees staying together. Then let the knees drop over to the left and the shoulders still pointing forward. Taking some rotation through the waist in this direction. Come back to the centre. Straighten both legs out to the front of the mat. Push the heels away, toes back towards the shins. On your breath in, raise those hands up towards the ceiling. On your breath out, start to fold from the hips, bringing those hands to wherever they reach. That may be the shins, maybe the ankles, the outside of the feet, maybe the two-piece fingers around the big toes. Try and feel creating the space, expansion of the front of the chest. As you breathe out, fold a little more from the hips, bringing that chest over those thighs. Use the breath. The in-breath creates the length. The out-breath creates the fold. Holding it here in this space just for another breath. And then lifting those shoulders again back over the hips. Take a bend into both knees. Turn the fingertips out. Heels together, knees together. Rotate the knees over to that right side, shoulders stay forward. Bring the knees back through centre. Take the knees over to the other side. Come back to centre. And then find either your fingertips staying where they are or pointing them in. Separate the feet to be hip width apart. Push into those feet, lift up through the hips. Find that reverse tabletop again. The gaze can be up to the ceiling, or you can send the gaze back if the heads and necks feel comfortable to do so. All the time squeezing the glutes to push those hips higher. One more breath in this space. Then release those hips back down to the mat. Bums in between the hands. Turn the fingertips out if they're not already. Feet and knees come together. Let the knees go over to your right side, shoulders face forward. Bring them back through centre, take the knees to the other side. So we have a little rotation between the forward and the back bends. Back to centre, stretch both legs out long, remove flesh from under the sit bones. Toes back to the shins, raise up with the arms as you breathe in, and as you breathe out, fold from the hips, bring the hands to wherever they reach. Take another breath in, push that chest forward, lift that gaze, out breath, draw the belly back, fold over those thighs a little deeper. Remember, you don't maybe come so deep, but that's fine. Try and engage those upper thighs to push those knees into the mat so you feel that hamstring stretch. One more breath in this position. Then your next breath in, bring those shoulders again back over the hips, arms out shoulder height, keeping the long limbs of the arms and the legs. Slowly let yourself come down, one vertebra at a time, feeling that core engagement as you slowly release that spine to the mat, nice and controlled as you lower that body to the floor. And once that head comes down to the mat, bring the arms to cactus arms, take a bend into both knees. Knees and heels together. Let the knees go over to the right side. Gaze to the left. Just let them settle there for a breath. Feeling that stretch down the left side waist, trying to keep that left shoulder grounded as much as you can. Your next breath in, bring those knees back to centre, gaze to the ceiling, and then on your out breath, let the knees go over to the left and the gaze to that right elbow. Right shoulder staying on the floor, feeling the stretch down the right side waist. Then bring those knees back to centre. Bring the knees in towards the chest. Just giving those knees a squeeze, just for a breath. Holding around the shins, squeezing nice and tight. Then just release the heels to the floor, bring the hands to the chest. Namaste.